Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Horwath, and I am the sales engineer at accesso Siriusware. I want to thank you for joining us today. Our webinar will introduce and familiarize you with our accesso Siriusware Rentals module. I'm joined by Katie Riley, our marketing associate, who's joining us from our Fresno, California office. If you have any questions during the webinar, please use the question box in your GoToMeeting console, and Katie will collect them. We will keep everyone in mute and address the questions at the end of the presentation. Let's get started. The rental suite of products offers a solution for rental shops that is comprehensive and highly configurable. Because rental shops vary widely in their layout and process, the entire system has been designed to be flexible enough to accommodate multiple styles of operation. We believe the accesso Siriusware Rentals module can help you simplify and streamline your rentals process. Today we will review some of the key features driving this module's success. At accesso, we believe technology has the power to redefine the guest experience. Everything we do starts with thinking about the guest experience first. This allows us to help our clients simplify operations, improve guest satisfaction, and drive growth. Our product team is always looking for ways to help you build loyal customers, as well as help your organization achieve its financial and performance goals. Our rental module streamlines the process for guests in several ways. Guest experience, ease of use, and convenience with pre-registration, allowing them to enter their own information at home or at the rental shop with our easy-to-use self-entry module. Guest data is tied to specific rental items with recommended DIN settings and configurations that calculate automatically based on size of skis, boots, and ability level. As the guest accepts liability, it is stored in the system, which means less paperwork when they return to your resort. This organizes your rental process. Rental flow is smooth, allowing the guest to get on the hill faster. Guests can access equipment that is reserved, and it will be ready for them upon their arrival. Also, switching or upgrading equipment is easy, which makes guests feel comfortable with the process. Let's discuss how the rentals module can improve processes at your property. With self-entry, also known as guest registration, the guest can enter their own information, accept liability waivers, and TechStation imports this information, which expedites the rental equipment assignment process. You will eliminate long lines and paperwork with efficient transactions that get the guests going fast. With TechStation, we track equipment usage and guest info linked to the equipment. Keep an eye on inventory and equipment availability with real-time inventory tracking. Keep in mind, rentals can be used year-round for any equipment or gear that you rent, including mountain bikes, zip line equipment, etc. It can all be tracked and maintained in our rentals module. Collect the liability waivers automatically and link forms to specific guest records. TechStation can also collect guest signatures for liability digitally at the terminal and store it in the database. We also offer direct integration with third-party risk management solutions. Save on seasonal employee training with our easy-to-use rental solution so you can turn your full attention to the guest. Deliver real-time results to management with comprehensive financial reporting available when you need it without impacting system performance. Easy upsell opportunities, such as upgrading to performance skis or adding a helmet, can be handled in the TechStation with the simple scan of equipment. And finally, with appropriate licensing, you could sell a rentals package at any sales point on your property. This module works seamlessly at the sales point to sell multiple items to multiple guests. Accesso Siriusware Rentals can be set up to accommodate any rental shop flow. Pay upfront scenarios are the most popular, and we're going to go through an example of how the guest would move around the resort and the shop. First, the guest can enter their information into a self-entry registration portal, either at home or on property, as this is a website that links to your SQL server. Self-entry is a way to collect information about the guest, like height, weight, ability level, etc., so that your cashiers are not entering that data, making long lines even longer. This also allows you to remove the pencil and paper rental forms. Next, the guests would proceed to a cashier where they could purchase their tickets, rentals, lessons, anything they needed in one transaction. The system now creates a rental form based on the self-entry information and sends it to your ski rental tech stations. At tech stations, your techs are ready for the guests. All they need to do is assign the equipment and perhaps gather a signature on a liability form once the guest is made aware of their DIN setting. All of this data is being transmitted to the SQL Server in real time at every step of the transaction, making reporting a breeze. There are two other popular rental shop flow scenarios: pay after checkout and pay upon return. Again, everything starts with self-entry or guest registration. Next, in this scenario, the guest heads right to the tech station to pick out their equipment. This presents an opportunity for your rental techs to upsell the guest into a better option like demo or performance skis. The checkout flow means the guest receives equipment and pays when they exit the shop instead of first. That way, they're paying for the equipment they've received. This allows the opportunity for techs to upsell and better accommodate the guest needs without sending them back and forth to a cashier. In the pay upon return scenario, we allow guests to pay when they are finished renting the equipment, even if it's days later. And once again, this all travels to the SQL Server in real time to make reporting easy. Now, let's take a look at this module in action. So the first screen you see here is my self-entry screen, and you notice it's a website. So this is an XML page that can be formatted to fit your needs. It could have your company logo, a company image. It could have the labeling and information that you need to come out on the start page. We also offer the ability for multiple start pages. That way, if you have a French language page and an English language page, you could offer both to your guests so that it's easier for them to use. So I'm going to click Start, and I'm going to enter an existing guest. That way, we can go through this process. If this was a new guest, I'd enter my name, and the system would look for my name, and if it doesn't find me, it would prompt me to begin a new guest form. But Sam the skier has been here before, so it's going to ask me to validate my user and verify my name. Now, you can do this by birth date, zip code, or phone number. It's up to you. There's a couple of different options to verify the guest ID, because there could be several Sam the skiers in the system. So in this scenario, I'm going to use birth date. And we'll move on to select our information, to verify our information about the guest. Since I've been here before, my address is already in the system. If I were a new guest, I could be presented with this screen. And again, it's up to you on whether you want to collect address information or phone number. Any of this information is optional, and the stars next to the information mean that it's required. So I am requiring some of these fields. I'm going to verify my information without any changes and click Continue. And this is where we enter our ski data information. So I'm going to select my gender just as an optional. And we're going to say that my height is 6 foot. And we'll say my weight is 200. And I have a size 11 shoe. And we'll stick with the beginner skier profile. Again, this could be all user defined, could be what you desire to have the guest enter for this information. It's what's collected for the rental process. I'm going to click Continue, and then I'm brought to an optional liability waiver screen. I can accept this and move on. If I do not accept, the guest will not be allowed to complete self-entry. You may have another liability form you collect on site. This is completely optional. I just wanted to present this to you as an option. So I'm going to make sure that I click Accept and Continue. And if you were doing the pay after checkout or the pay upon return, this could be where you collect a deposit credit card number that's encrypted and stored in the system. This, again, is optional, so I'm going to choose Other and move on. And we're done. So we're going to complete registration. Now, in this scenario, I'm going to go to my sales station. And now my guest appears at the sales station to pick the rental out. So we're going to choose, since we're beginner skier, we're going to choose a 1-day basic package. In my setup, I have this one-day basic package with the option to be modified with different upsell opportunities. So I have the option to add rental insurance, which I'll say no. I could add a helmet, a sport boot upgrade, or a demo upgrade. I'm just going to go with my no on the rental insurance and complete my sale. Now, we have to assign that self-entry information to this package. So with my main action button on the sales point, I'm going to do my self-entry click select, and we see we have several guests that are here filling out the self-entry forms. But the one we're interested in is Sam the Skier. I'm going to click Sam the Skier over to my one-day basic package, and I'm good to go. If you had multiple family members booking together on the same day, they could book one time in the self-entry screen, and all of their names would be listed individually here that then you could drag and click onto the items in the sales screen. That way, you're assigning the correct self-entry form with the correct ski rental package or rental package. I'm going to click OK. And if I click on my Rental Ready button, I can just verify the information. This is optional. You don't have to do that. But as you can see, in one simple operation, I've brought in Sam the Skier's information to my sales screen. And since this is a rental item, there are certain fields that are required, such as height, weight, and on our rental tab, shoe size. And we see here type 1 didn't come in, but I have all this information ready to go to the tech station. I'm going to click Save. And my total due is $30. I'll click Finalize, assign that to cash, and I'm done. At this point, you could print a receipt that the cashier gives to the guest takes to the tech station tech, and they scan to find their rental form. Or if you don't wish to do the paper route, you could come to tech station, which is the screen we're looking at now, and the tech could look up either the last 25 forms that were completed via self-entry or via sales, or they could search by different fields. First name, last name, form number. You could just print the form number on the guest receipt, and all the tech has to do is type that in. We make the search for completed sales with rentals very easy with TechStation through this lookup. Also, you could have multiple shops that you're assigning rentals to, and that gets based on where you're renting the equipment from. You set that up so that say the skis come from the Nordic Center and all the bikes come from the bike shop. Each tech station could be designated to work with one shop, two shops, or all shops. It's up to you. So in our scenario here, I'm just going to keep this on all shops, and I'm going to click Submit. And that's my simple way of looking to find all my forms that are ready to be rented. So we see at the top, I have Sam the Skier. And below that, I have several other guests, and they're all at various statuses with different dates. Now, if I was a full shop, you would see everything in chronological order, and you can see the status of closed or still active. One good thing we can do, if I click on form 12015001, I get a warning that this guest has had this equipment out since May 9th and it's overdue. At this point, if the guests were to return it, I could print them an overdue statement, and they would take this receipt to a cashier to then pay for the difference for what they originally rented to what their overdue status was. And you can also load sales on the same station as a tech station to handle that need. So let's go back and look at our Sam the Skier form. Okay, so this is our tech form, and as we can see, we have all of our guest information here on the left, Sam the Skier, and on the right, we have the pertinent information that is related to the rental. We could change this information if the tech brings it up to the guest. Sam the Skier, we have you in at weight 200 pounds, is that correct? You want to verify this information with your guests because, again, that's for your DIN calculation. So at this point, the tech would get the barcoded equipment and enter or scan the numbers at the station. So as I enter ski number 2, we can see that my Dynastar Driver 148 ski has now been rented to Sam the Skier. If they had barcodes, you could just scan at this point and they would enter. And I will say we can generate the barcodes from the Siriusware system, either by asset numbers that are assigned from you for your designated shop. We can create the barcode ourselves in our system. It's up to you and your needs. And now I'm going to enter a boot. Great. So we see that I have a boot and a ski. my DIN has been calculated, and at this point, I could have the guest sign on a Topaz digital signature pad that's connected directly to TechStation. And if I had that, the signature would appear in this screen as the guest signed, and then we encrypt that signature and store it in the database for use if we need it. So at this point, the guest is ready to go on the hill. They've paid, they've received their skis, and if this was, we sold them a one-day basic package for skis. If they tried to rent a snowboard, we would get an error message. So let me return a boot here, and I'll try to rent them an upgraded boot. That way we're not accidentally giving anything back. Okay. We can return, all items returned. So let me reactivate the form with my manager operation, and I'm going to enter that demo boot. Wrong type of level of equipment. So the system can block your techs from renting the wrong type of equipment based on the setup of the equipment that they are sold in sales. Again, optional for you. You can choose to ignore that and give the guest anything they need. At this point, I can show you how to print a big form. This might be a paper form that you have your guest sign to acknowledge liability. And I'm going to shrink some windows here and show you that form. This is a custom layout that you can design. But again, it shows the DIN, it'll show the height, weight, the gender, it'll show any equipment that they've rented, and it leaves a spot for them to sign at the bottom where you could put your liability language there. And here is a barcode on the bottom right for the tech to be able to scan if they need to pull up the form quickly, or if the form has to go to sales and we need to recall the sale in our sales application. Okay, so something else that's fun in our TechStation is the ability to go into return mode. So at the end of the day, you can turn all of your TechStations into return stations. That way, you don't have to have separate equipment or devices to register all the equipment as it comes off the hill. And we have two ways of returning items. You could return all items from one form by scanning one barcode from that form. So if Sam the skier brought his boots, skis, helmet, whatever he had back, and I just scan one barcode from the helmet, the system will know, okay, everything's being returned from his form, and we'll return all of those items back to our inventory. Otherwise, you can switch to return individual items. So if Sam brings back his skis but wants to keep his helmet for a bit, then we just return the skis. It's up to you, and as you can see, it's easy and quick for the tech operators to toggle back and forth between the two options. We also have store mode. It would be for your guests that may rent for multiple days, and they may not want to take the equipment with them. So we can store this equipment in our storage mode, which we would then store in a different section of our shop to make sure that when they check in back in the next day, their equipment's ready from the same equipment they had the day before. You could also use this for advanced registration. So if guests know the equipment they want, you can scan it into storage mode and put it in a reservations area and then have a tech go grab it when the guest arrives. It's very easy to track your equipment.
Let's take a look at what our clients are saying about our rentals module. Crystal Staggs, a longtime accesso Siriusware super user at Crested Butte, recently told us, the accesso Siriusware Solution has allowed us to integrate our tickets, rentals, and ski school into one simplified system. The ability to package all of our products together and sell so many different things in one place helps us maximize revenue and create a truly seamless experience for our guests. Kate McGinnis, another longtime client, details her positive experience here, taking us through the modules that they have upgraded to in recent years that include ski rentals. And she says that the addition of these modules has both significantly improved the guest experience and also resulted in more streamlined internal processes and third-party integrations. This is great feedback coming from a resort that has over 400,000 skiers and snowboarders coming through annually. So we're very happy that they're experiencing so much success. And with that, this ends today's webinar, and we encourage you to contact us at sales@accesso.com if you are ready to simplify and streamline your rentals process. Thank you.